y'all, it's Linda. Welcome back to my channel. Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome. Today's video is one in a series that I like to call Worth It, where I take a new makeup item and I break it way down for you. We're going to talk about price comparisons. We're going to talk about the brand, their return policies, whether they're cruelty-free or not. Then I'm going to show you swatches and we are going to do a first impressions makeup tutorial and I will tell you my thoughts. But as I start all of my videos, we are going to light the cat candle. This is a cat candle that has a metal skeleton inside of it, and I only light it while I'm filming so we can all see the magic together. It is not burning quickly enough. You can see the metal skeleton finally, but we've lit this for like 10 videos. What the F? The cat's on fire, we can officially start. So as you can see from the title of the video, we are going to be talking about the new Rust collection from Melt Cosmetics. Look at this packaging, whoop! I did purchase this myself. This is the PR Box whole collection. So it comes with, a little bit hard to see, but we have a palette, we have a gel eyeliner, and we have 2 lipsticks. Now in 2016, Melt already came out with a Rust collection and it was in a stack form, and I have that too. So we are going to be comparing the two via price, via swatches to see if they're actual dupes. Let's get into it. As always, there will be timestamps for everything down below, so if you want to skip straight to the swatches or straight to the tutorial, you can do that. Let's start out as I always do and talk about the brand. Melt Cosmetics was founded in 2012 by Dana Bomar and Laura Ariano. They released their first products in 2013 and they came out with a line of lipsticks which sold out immediately. They saw a need for some bolder lipsticks and obviously people wanted that. Now, as of 2020, they have so many different makeup products. They have eye palettes, blushes, highlighters, lip products, eye pencils, things like that. They have yet to come out with any face products like foundation or concealer, but maybe that'll happen in the future and I'd be pretty pumped to see it. As far as the cruelty-free and vegan status, Melt Cosmetics is a Leaping Bunny certified brand, and Leaping Bunny is personally the one that I trust the most because I feel like they make you jump through the most hoops to prove that you are in fact cruelty-free, so they do have that status, which makes me very happy. As far as the vegan status, some products by Melt are cruelty-free, others are not. They tell you very clearly on their website when you're looking at the products whether or not it is vegan. So in this package alone, the eye palette is completely vegan, which is fantastic, as are the 2 lipsticks. The Burnish Gel Liner is unfortunately not vegan, so please keep that in mind if that's something that's important to you. A quick mention about the return policy if you decide you do not like these products. If you order directly from Melt Cosmetics' website, you have 30 days whether the item is damaged or you want to return it or exchange it to get the product back to them. I think that's very fair. There are so many brands nowadays that are like, hey, you don't like it? Bones. Now, I am filming this on March 20th, 2020, and as of right now, this product is not available on Sephora.com, but many Melt products do appear on Sephora.com after they are available on the Melt website. So just in case you do purchase this off of Sephora.com, I do want to let you know that usually the Sephora return policy, if you purchase it online, is 30 days. You have 30 days whether it's damaged, defective, or you just want to return it. As of right now, we are going through the coronavirus crisis all over the world, and they have extended their policy to 60 days. I do not know how long that's going to last. They don't have an expiration date on their website, so the best thing to do is check Sephora's return policy before you purchase. I always talk a lot in this series, so I need some water. Let's chat about price comparisons. So the way that I do mine is I will take a whole bunch of palettes that are similar, maybe in color, or they have kind of a grungy feel similar to this one, and I will break it down as to price per gram. I'm gonna put a chart right up here on the screen now so you can see what I mean. The palette itself retails for $58 and it comes out to $2.99 per gram, which I think is very reasonable. Of course, you have some brands like ColourPop where it's $1.13 per gram, or Juvia's Place where it's $1.12 per gram. Those are very reasonably priced items. But as far as a slightly higher end brand goes, Anastasia Beverly Hills is anywhere between $4 and $5.25 per gram, which is a lot more than this, which is barely $3 per gram. What I find most interesting though is that the Rust stack, which is the predecessor to the Rust palette, was a lot more per gram. This one came out to $3.92 per gram. Plus, there are almost 5 grams less of product in here than there were in the palette. Let's chat about packaging. First, I actually want to talk about the packaging of the Rust stack, which came out in 2016. So this was kind of unique in that there were big pans and they are all magnetized. You can see like they just all stick together, or you can take them apart so you just have one shadow at a time. The pan sizes are huge and I loved these colors. I did wind up using these a lot, but the thing about this is I very rarely reached for this after a while because I hate this packaging. I hate it. I am not personally a lover of single shadows. I prefer palettes because I like to be able to create looks using just one whole palette at a time. So this, while I could create a look with this, I hated having to like open each one, and then they got like really messy. I don't know if you can tell, but this was just not my preferred method. So it would sit like this in its original box in kind of the back of my makeup area. And I loved these colors, but I just never reached for it. Now let's talk about the new packaging. So again, this is the PR box, which retailed for $70, which is not bad at all, considering the palette itself was $58, and then you get a gel liner and 2 lipsticks. Yes, please. This box is beautiful. It is grungy, it is metallic, it is just stunning. And then when you open it, I think it's really cool how it's hinged with a ribbon. Let's look at each item. So we will start with the Burnish Gel Liner. So this comes in a glass container with a matte lid, and the product is inside. It is very beautiful looking when it hasn't been touched yet. And because I didn't mention it, there are 2.5 milliliters in this, which is about normal for a gel liner. Then we have the 2 lipsticks. They both come in these very slim bullet formats, and the first one is called 1969, and it is described as an orange creamsicle shade, and I would agree with that. It is very creamy looking. I have not tried Melt's bullet lipstick formula yet, so I'm super excited. The next color is called Mural, and I have a feeling this is going to wind up being a favorite of mine. This one definitely does have an orangey tint similar to 1969, but it also has more of a brown tone, and I am all about those 90s grunge brown tones. Now let's talk about the piece de resistance, the palette. The outer packaging is this beautiful, very thin cardboard box, and on the front it is metallic and foiled, and on the back we have a listing of all the ingredients and the expiration date. It does say 12 months, but I don't know about you. I don't think I've ever looked at an eyeshadow palette and gone, I've had this 12 months, it has to go in the trash. But that's what they recommend you do. Do not do as I do. The palette itself has that same beautiful artwork with that foiled word rust. And then let's take a look inside. This is completely my aesthetic, okay? Completely my aesthetic. We've got grungy shades. So we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mattes and 3 shimmers. This is just beautiful. I can't wait to play with this. I haven't even touched it yet because I want to do it on camera with you guys. Wow, that sounds dirty. You know what I mean? Let's get dirty with some eyeshadow. I am so excited to dig into this, and I do want to do some swatches next. I'm going to do these swatches a little bit differently than I usually do. I want to show you a video right here on the screen of when Dana Bomar, who is one of the founders of Melt Cosmetics, did swatches on her own Instagram. She did it a more unique way where she took the color and she rubbed it down once and then back up and then down again. Now I know a lot of people probably think that's shifty. I know when Jaclyn Hill did that, a bunch of people were in an uproar. But if I'm being honest with myself, when I apply an eyeshadow, I don't swipe it once in the pan and swipe it once on my eye and look, it's done. I go over it a few times, I definitely do, or I pack the color on a few times. So I'm gonna do my swatches this time exactly the way that Dana did hers because she's the founder. She knows how the product is supposed to work, she knows how she wants it to work, so I'm going to try to honor that and we can see how it looks all together. But let's jump into swatches. So these colors swatched beautifully. I have never had a problem with most Melt Cosmetics shadows. There are a few here and there that I'm not madly in love with, but for the most part, they're just beautiful. I will say that the metallics, now this could be my fault, but I kind of dug my finger a little harder in the pan than I probably should have. And you can see that, I believe it's just called Redo. It got a little bit chunky. It's a very soft shadow. So be a little more careful with the metallics. You don't need as much as you might think you would need, but they are beautiful. The metallics are here, here, and here. They are just stunning. And I love this bright orange. Oh, it even transferred here onto my arm because I must have gone like that. That's cute. What I want to do next, I'm going to wipe all of these off, and then I'm going to take the shades that were in the Rust stack that are now in the Rust palette and compare them so you can see if they're different, if they're similar, if they're exactly the same. Let's look at those. Okay, so as I mentioned on screen, the first color is the OG palette and the second color is the new Rust palette. Every single one of these shades is slightly different from each other. First we have Classic. In the new palette, it is definitely more pigmented and it also has a slightly more yellow undertone, whereas the original had kind of a cream undertone. The next shade, Antique, it is much more peach in the new palette, but the pigmentation is 10 times better. I had to swipe so many times just to get Antique to show up from the OG palette here. This is one swipe with the new palette. Same thing with the next shade, Rubbish. I had to swipe so many times to get some pigmentation from the old palette. The new one, it is one swipe and it is the perfect baby poop brown. Next is, I think, the biggest difference, and this is actually the Rust shade. The old one is a little bit patchy. It's still beautiful and I still love that shade, but it's a little bit more patchy. The new Rust shade, oh God, it's like after my own heart. It is a warm, warm, rusty brown, and it went on opaque in one swipe. Finally, we have Rot, and the new shade is called Rot 2, and or Rot Squared? Rot Squared. And the old Rot is patchy. It is, I don't know, it's kind of a nothing color. I don't know a way to describe it. I always did use it to deepen up the crease, but this color is so much more the new one. In one swipe, it is the perfect kind of charcoal brown. It's not quite black, so it's not gonna scare you, but it is great for deepening colors up. Do you see how much more pigmented this one is than this one? So I'm feeling pretty secure in my buying decision right now. Still do have some stripes going on here, so a little difficult to get off. I don't know how well you can see. There's a little bit of staining right there from those last few colors, huh? Okay, it is time for the first application to the face. I'm going to zoom you in, and I'm just gonna speed through this, but I'm going to put the names of the colors that I'm using on the screen so you know. This is my first time putting the shadows on my face, so of course putting them on your face is a completely different story than putting them on your forearm. So we will see how these work. Okay, before we get into my thoughts on all the products, I do have to say the lip color is throwing me way off. I need to add some like brown liner on the edges or something like that just to give it a little more dimension. Okay, I feel a bit better now. First, let's talk about the Burnish Gel Liner. I cannot stress this enough that a little bit goes a very long way. I dipped my brush in and so much of the product came up and I think I wasted so much of it. I'm bummed. A little bit goes a very long way. If you dip a fluffy brush into it, it will cover your whole lid. Trust me on this one. But the color is beautiful. It's more of a like, I don't know, I thought it was super brown, but it's almost like a wine shade, and that it really makes your lid completely opaque so that any shadows going on top of it are going to be equally as opaque. And it just, I love it. I love it so much, and I love the formula. I don't see any creasing even a little bit. Oh God, I'm in love with this whole look. The palette, like, I almost want to try to find something negative to say about it, and I can't. Every shade applied beautifully, every shade blended with each other beautifully. Again though, this is with all melt palettes I found, a little bit goes a very long way, so don't dig your brush in. I did that a few times accidentally and it went everywhere and there was product wasted. So dip it in very lightly. You can always build it up. These products do layer very nicely on top of one another, so take your time with it. Do not be like me where I'm like, gotta get it done. This Ravage shade on the lid, I purposefully chose that one because it's not a shade I feel like I would normally go for. It's very much like, it's like a brown with gold shimmer throughout it, and it's not a shade I would normally reach for. So I was like, yes, you know what, I've got to try that one. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I feel like the gold flecks make my eyes look super blue. I really love it. Every shade was beautiful. The only shade that I wish performed a tiny bit better was Antique. In the swatches, it was very opaque, but I did find that I had to layer a little bit, especially on top, but still the color came out lovely and warm, and I love it. So do I personally think that this palette is worth $58? That depends on you and your budget, of course. As always, for me, this is worth more than $58. These are colors that I will use very often. You can create a very neutral, work-safe, school-safe look with this palette, or you can go super dark, super grungy and smoky with this. The Burnish Gel Liner, I'm obsessed. I love this so much. I'm almost worried at this point. Have you ever used a product once and you're like, I love this so much, I need to buy 54 backups of it? It's kind of how I'm feeling about this right now. The lipstick. I'm a little bit torn on the lipstick, I will have to admit. Now, the color is not great for me. I can even imagine that 1969 creamsicle shade is gonna be even not even great at me. I don't know, I just think it's gonna be terrible on me, to be honest. The formula feels very nice and very comfortable for a matte, I will say that, but I think it's just the colors that I'm not completely in love with. But once I added some brown in this, I do like it. I feel like it creates the actual brown lipstick that I would wear in the 90s, because yes, I wore makeup in the 90s. I wasn't born in the 90s like so many of YouTubers out here. All in all, I'm really happy with my purchase with this collection. If you guys want to purchase any of these items, I will have links down below so you can get to them nice and easily. Tell me what you think of this palette. Do you think that this is something that you even want to get? Do you think it compares with the OG Rust stack? Do you have the OG Rust stack? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. So that's it. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help me a lot. You all can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Those are all GlitterFallout. I do put out new videos here on YouTube every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and some other days as well. If you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button and become a part of my Rockstar fam. And as always, you all are super freaking rock stars, and I love you with my whole heart. That's inside, like under my boobs somewhere. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.